If you're hearing a little background music, it's because we've got an app running in the background here that we're going to show you. First of all, we want to welcome Ashley Colis back to Autism Live.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for being back. I mentioned yesterday that we had you on the show before talking about babysitting and how to get great babysitters. So thrilled to have Ashley back with us. And you've got an app to show us today that's a free app that uses the principles of ABA, and we're teaching labels. Now, is this primarily for kids that are a little bit younger and sort of starting out?
Yeah, it would be for kids who are younger, starting out, and the labels are things in the home and in the community, so they're categorized that way. So you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to teach.
So really basic kind of stuff, really usable stuff. We're not doing stuff that isn't going to have an impact on our lives. We're really trying to teach things that have a practical application.
Yes.
Okay.
And we wanted to choose definitely functional things.
Yeah.
That things that you're going to use and things that have a function in your daily life or your child's daily life, so that they're not just abstract.
Right.
Kind of.
Right. If we're going to play on technology, let's have it count for something.
Right, definitely.
Now, I had an opportunity to play this with my son the other night, and he's not the age range or the skill level that's appropriate for it, but he was having some good fun with it, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But it's called Camp Discovery, and you can get this where?
You can get it in the iTunes store right now. It's only available on iPad. So if you try to search for it on your phone, you won't find it.
Okay.
So, but it will be available in that format, and then also in the Android version as well.
Okay, and we'll let you guys know that. But right now it's free in the App Store, the iTunes App Store. And I see here that we're on the home page for it because we've downloaded it on our iPad here, and I've got 4 different levels.
Right.
And what does that speak to? Is it different age ranges, different numbers? But what does the level thing mean?
So I think you use a lot of the jargon. So these are almost equivalent to an SD.
Okay.
So we're going through an SD progression here. We're going from more simple matching to sorting, and then to receptively identifying the object.
Okay.
So we really incorporated skills into creating this game and making sure that we actually had teaching points and objectives.
Great.
And that they progress. So as the child gets better and masters levels, they can move on, earn more points, and then go on to win the whole game.
Great. And as we've talked about before on the show, a great place to start when you're teaching something is with matching. So we would do level 1. And let's go ahead, Ashley, and push the button, and let's see what it goes into. So that they can... Okay, and so then we have to put
the picture with the identical picture below.
We don't have the push button. So it said, I don't know if you could hear the voice, match the picture with the picture below.
Right.
So you're giving me a choice between 2 at this point.
Amazing.
And then as soon as she does that, did you see the reinforcement there? We got the star and we got the social praise for it, and it gets harder because our field goes from 2 to 3.
Right.
What happens if you get it wrong? Yeah.
That's not it.
Okay.
So you get.
And I love this. Did you guys see what just happened?
Right.
The voice said, that's not it, in a very general, neutral way, but the chair and the microwave got smaller and the window got bigger.
Match these.
Okay, and now it's flashing.
Perfect.
It's that errorless learning.
Because I didn't answer.
Right. That errorless learning that we were talking about yesterday, that if you can't get the answer right, guess what we're going to do? We're going to give you the answer, and you're going to do it in different progressions. So what happens if you keep getting it wrong, Ashley? Does it eventually move away the field of 2 and go to 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, so that you can't...
There's no possibility that you can get it wrong.
Right, unless you just don't play it.
Right.
So we'll let it go and see if it will go there. But this is the most important thing when we were planning for these games. Here it goes, it's just one-on-one. There we go. Is that we wanted it to teach, and not just by, trial and error, not just you can keep pressing the same button over and over. I don't know if your son's ever played a game and it just makes the same noise over and over, and it drives you nuts. We don't want that to be what happens, because it can turn into something that's self-stimulatory, or they start to like those sounds. And we really wanted it to teach and to provide prompts and to have a hierarchy, just like we would do with the kid, with one of our clients or your child in vivo in a therapy session. We want we wanted that to be simulated here.
And you know what I love about this? What's so clever about this is that we all know that technology is never going to completely supplant one-on-one. But if we can be using this to greatly supplement what's going on, it's money saving, it's time saving, and it's also, we know, really reinforcing to the kids to play in this way.
It is, definitely. And one of the things about iPads, because I get asked about iPads all the time by friends and family that know what I do, and what an iPad does that a teacher can't do is that it takes away some of the social component that might be keeping our client or your child from learning, because the classroom itself has so many demands just by what that space is and who's in it. So this kind of takes that away, and you don't need the eye contact, but really good apps that are coming out are requiring some of that social interaction to even play the games. And that's with really good technology and training for teachers and therapists, and actually getting these tablets and things in classrooms and in therapy sessions, we can have a lot of success with these types of games and educational games and learning games.
Yeah. Well, I think it's remarkable, and I think it's a great way to go. Again, not completely removing the one-on-one experience, right? But really supplementing it. Imagine if you had the one-on-one person there and they were doing this kind of program one-on-one with your child, and then they leave, or even if in the middle of the program, you know, we often give a reward of getting to play with technology in between. So if you did the lesson and then handed them this, they're still getting the lesson, but it's reinforcing for them. You're getting twice as much done.
Exactly.
And it's free.
And it's free. And we talked about babysitting. And so this is kind of like a babysitter in a sense. And we all worry about our kids just watching TV and doing nothing when we're not around. But this is something that they can play and you can feel comfortable with, because they're actually going to learn.
Absolutely. And even if you have a babysitter who's there and you can say, hey, they can play with the iPad and you can leave, go to the movie, and know that they're still growing and learning.
Right.
A spectacular thing. So Camp Discovery, you can go, should we look at let's look at level 4, for example, for just a second.
So this is the receptive SD that I was talking about.
Okay.
So we're getting the child to identify the object.
Yes. So she said find the
milk.
Find the milk.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear it, you can play it again.
The milk.
Okay, that's great.
Excellent.
And I love how we get
I've been
that
playing it
star
earlier, so it picked up where I left off with the milk.
So you would have started in a place, when we were playing it, my son and I, it did the aerialist learning in the beginning, and it only gave him the milk. And he was like, oh, this is so easy. Of course, I only have a choice of one. And then it was very interesting to watch him as it gave him a choice. He goes, oh, now they're trying to confuse me. Oh, and then it would start on the next one. He'd have mastered it, and then it would start on the next one, and it would be doing. It was so fun to hear him at this point in his life going back over a lesson that he did when he was little,
with,
and he was like, "This is crazy! It's so easy." And I said, "Yeah, dude, you used to struggle over this at one point, but very fun." And he, even though it was very easy, he liked the way the star lit up, and when we got to talking and something was getting bigger and flashing, he's like, Look what it's doing. So a great program, Camp Discovery. I know you guys are always asking us about apps, and I love to share with you the free apps.
And we have a lot more coming. So this is just one small piece of the pie, but there are some really fun things planned. This is definitely just a little taste.
Great.
And it's really fun. And the administrative features, you can change what objects you want to teach in a library, and you can change how long you want it to go between trials, so between questions.
Right.
And
so
there are
really
all
have
sorts
the ability
of really
to customize.
Features that you can use to customize your experience.
Great.
And timers and all sorts of stuff. So it's really has a lot for parents too, so they can feel like they are able to customize it for their child. It's not one size fits all.
Great thing to do if your child's in the car, if you're having to wait someplace. Educational and reinforcing.